Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Force Lines Forever. Today, I have a 4v4 custom match here on the most amazing Necroxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and players, starting with Team 1 up here in the northeast and ending with Team 2 down here in the southwest. Starting off with the frontmost player here for Team 1 in lightish red pink. It is one Big Andy going first land as a UEF. Very sensible choice for the front line. To his northwest, we have Han Solo. Most likely he will shoot first. Going first, land in royal purple as an Aeon. To the north section of Team 1's base, we have Evil Genius going first land as a Cybran in Batman Gray. And last but not least, for Team 1 in the rearguard air slot, most likely for Team 1, it is Maximus Triple X going first land as a Seraphim in Emerald Green. So for Team 1's side of things for racial makeup, they have one of each of the factions here. One Seraphim, one Cybran, one Aeon, and one UEF here for Team 1. Lots of ones in that sentence. For Team 2, starting off with the frontmost player, it is Pac-Man, yellow player of Alex, Triple X, going first land as a UEF, of course, in Pac-Man yellow. To his southeast, with a very nice, sensible choice of Chevy Crimson for the Cybran faction. It is Gamer9 Triple X. He was showcased a couple of games ago and held out against a superior number of players. And let's see if he can do a repeat appearance or maybe a different appearance. Who knows? We don't know his performance yet, so we'll have to check him as he goes out. Check his progress as the match progresses. And he's going land all day as well. To his west, we have C2118 Freedom going first land, second air as a Cybran in Stitch Blue. And he might, I don't know, I feel like there'll be two players going air and two players going land. But I also feel like this eastern or western players will go, or edge players will go for land as well. Last but not least, for Team 2 and the whole game, it is Ayahuasca Death doing first land, probably second air, as an Aeon in Imperial Gray. For Team 2 side of things, for racial makeups, we have, let's see, 2 Cybran, 1 UEF, and 1 Aeon. They are missing the Seraphim technology in their toolboxes, which means they won't have chickens, they won't have Ilshis, and they won't have Zuis or YOLOs or any of that sort of thing. In terms of reclaim, currently on the map, we have 18,000, essentially 19,000. That is a decent chunk, split between 8 players. That's essentially 9,500 per team, so a little over 2,000 per player. That's if it's evenly divided. I think I did my math right. Well, it's like 2,500. But not a bad amount, not a horrible amount by any means. But our players have to scoop it up. They have to go find it. They have to go investigate and fight it off from other players, at least on the other team. Let's go ahead and see what the players are doing early on. We're having all of the columns for Team 1 pushing to that center line here on the northeast side of these two little bodies of water. They're probably going to be called ponds this game. I might refer to them as lakes because they look like both, but we call the Sentence ponds, and they're like the Sentence water in that map ponds, and that is a huge body of water. So I think ponds will suit us nicely. But on Team 2 side of things, we're seeing 3 of the 4 comms push to that center line, except for the player here for Freedom. He's staying back, and honestly, he's grabbed a lot more mechs that essentially were in the base of Ayahuasca, so it does look like he's going to try to eco a whole lot this game, or it just might have been a first come, first serve kind of thing. Or maybe these were gifted over to Freedom, so it does look like Freedom is going to go for that kind of eco play for his team. Kind of similar things happening on the northern side here for Evil Genius. I'd say it's about the same amount of mexes between both players. But we do have Evil Genius on that front line. So 2 players going for the western side of this pond here. Kind of surprising no one went over here. Maximus Triple X could have easily gone that direction, but maybe he wants to cut off any enemy movement in the southeastern corner by going here. Don't know. We'll have to see how that progresses on. But it's kind of similar what's happening with Ayahuasca, except he hasn't moved his comm up yet. We are seeing Han Solo, of course, doing very similar things to what Gamer9 Triple X is doing on that other side of the map, which is building up that southern, or in this case, the northern side of the map, and then pushing on one side or the other of the pond So it does look like Team 1 is employing a strategy of essentially cutting Team 2 off of the corners. At least maybe that is Maximus's plan. He isn't even pushing up with his engineers that he has over here. That's not a wasted opportunity, but you're missing out on 4 mechs early on. That's 8 mass per second. That could mean a lot, but we do see a plan to go into the Navy to secure this pawn. That'd be a very interesting play here for him. Get those cruisers online with those missiles. Maybe a Hathum, those T3 battleships with their nukes on board. We're seeing the first comm upgrade. It is a gun for Han Solo, so he is definitely going to shoot first in this game. Going for speed and then go for range here very quickly after. That's just kind of the meta for Aeon commanders, at least ones that are being aggressive. A huge host of units for Maximus XXX coming on this eastern side. Engineers are finally moving up to secure this position. We are seeing the comm going to engage Gamer here. And the benefit of having this giant pond here is the fact that he can obviously just walk into it whenever he wants to. It's not a huge, okay, now I have to, walk all the way back and maybe I'm going to be shot down before I get there. It's like, oh, a dip in the water. Oh, I'm fine. Okay, cool. That's essentially what the situation is for both of these players, actually. But we are noticing it is a Cybran versus a Seraphim. So Maximus has to be a little bit aware that, of course, once you get to the T3 stage, we have bricks that have torpedoes. We also have Otham siege things that also have torpedoes. So both of these players need to be aware that torpedo technology might come in clutch if one of the comms decides to sit in the water for a period of time. And now we're seeing that push from this kind of power vacuum that Maximus XXX has created, or at least unknowingly created. The comm of One Big Andy and his units have to push southeastwardly to cut off this advancement of enemy units. And the comm of Alex is actually chasing the units from One Big Andy. So we're seeing a huge amount of just room being opened up in the middle for Big Andy to work with. And we're seeing these two other commanders for Team 1 on the northwestern side of the map going for advanced range. So really leaning into his comm very early on at 7 minutes. How is T2 Air coming along? Well, it does look like it is online here for Freedom. How does it look online? It is online here for Evil Genius as well. So it looks like these are going to be air players, at least the primary ones for now. I would not be surprised to see either Maximus or Ayahuasca get into the air as well. Well, we did see Freedom finally push up with his partner to the west of Ayahuasca, so it's 2v2 scenario here. We're seeing the hover technology of these Aurora use that water to their advantage, but the Aurora are also prevalent here for Ayahuasca as well, so that hover is kind of nullified. They're not bound by little legs or wheels or tracks, in this case, to traverse the map. Does look like Team 1 has plugged that hole. Might want to start maybe building up some PD, maybe like back here, because if you put it here, it's too bottlenecked. It's hard to get a line of sight on target. We are seeing some Zooey support. Maximus XXX using the water to his advantage to just hover his units that Gamer can't really get a hold of due to the fact that he doesn't have hover units, at least at the Team 1 stage. Maximus is still trying to just hang out in the water here. Wants to just do what he can to force these units from Gamer 9 XXX back. We'll have to see how that progresses for him. I feel like it will look pretty well for him, unless he just gets annihilated by a bunch of mantis. I say something and usually it either doesn't happen or it either goes the other way or goes the exact way I'm thinking of within 30 seconds or a minute of what I said. 2 intel installations here on the front line here for Team 1. Wants to make sure they have a backup system in place. They even have a central T2, but a huge army from the combined forces of Alex and for Gamer is pushing northward up the middle. There's a couple of T1 PD in the mix. There's also that army here for One Big Andy, and it looks like it's going to collide. There's a decent amount of PD that will help definitely shore up some defenses and lack of firepower, but they are starting to push, get further back in that line. The engineer will be taken out. It served its purpose. It built this PD and it built some walls to help protect it. The units here from One Big Andy just rushing over, or not rushing over, it's not floating over, cascading over, kind of like a tide, not a tide, like a wave. It's like crashing over. Whatever. I think you guys get what I'm getting at. this force here from Alex. Gamer loses all of those units. He still has a ton. And just based on numbers, he is winning that game on the land against his opponent in the southeast. We have a T1 frigate online. Gun speed and range going down here for Maximus Triple X. Might want to get Nano after that. But we are seeing more naval units. Team 2 needs to be aware of this. I mean, obviously they know of the facility, but they don't know where it is. We are seeing a counterattack here from One Big Andy. He's been attacked multiple times now. Wants to get some payback. Took out one Mechs and goes, that's probably as much as I'm probably going to get, so I'm going to retreat here. In terms of Mechs, Team 1 is leading by about 15. It's between like 10 to 15. It's not a huge amount of mass differential, especially at 10 minutes. Even. It is in like 100% even, pretty close to 100% even. A 111,000 mass, and it's just slow. Those numbers slowly kind of tick, kind of off and on being exact or not. T2 appearing here for Gamer 9. He'll start building some hoplites or rhinos, one of the two. Those are usually the two most common TT units built. Or hover. He could build the amphibious. I forget what they're called. I know they're riptides for UEF. I don't remember what they are for Cyberans. But of course, we have all these units constantly streaming down this eastern side. More and more positions are opening up. And now we see even a position out here from Evil Genius. Maybe wants to get some of that reclaim. But there's a decent amount here. And that's probably what he's thinking about. Trying to scoop up more reclaim to build his T3 facility. And it's already finished at 11.5 minutes. Same speed essentially as Freedom, so both teams have access to T3 sub 12 minutes. I think it was probably close to 11 minutes to be fair. But we are seeing it's kind of dead even for both of these corners. It does look like Maximus is a little bit more ahead, but we are seeing, of course, the forces from Ayahuasca. He's not on the front lines, but his units are, and he's building his own facility as well. So maybe we'll see kind of a split down the middle eventually of Team 1 owning the western side, and Team 2 owning the western side, and Team 1 owning the eastern side of the map. We'll just have to wait and see. I want him to go T2. I want him to get those cruisers and lock down air. It's a huge advantage if you can just nullify an entire opponent, entire field of combat for essentially an entire team. If just saying, okay, a bunch of anti-air, a bunch of cruisers, a bunch of aircraft carriers, okay, you can't use air over here, see you bye. They have to go around somewhere else, and that will also prevent run-bys if you have a bunch of cruisers just constantly cycling with, obviously, radar to support them. We are seeing some ASF fight a spy plane here. It will be taken out of... yep, there it goes. Those missiles do track their targets. But the comm of Han Solo is under fire. Not a whole lot to worry about. He has that advanced range and advanced speed, so these Aurora do get shot pretty quickly and get taken out with hardly any issue. Gamer 9 constantly being forced back into this corner. We also see very similar things for Freedom over here. Just building a facility and building one engineer to just kind of roam the map. We're seeing more engineers come out of that facility more and more to just scoop reclaim. Maximus Triple X is suffering in the hit points department, is sub 6,000 versus Gamer 9 at a full 10,000 with the gun upgrade. He needs to get back to that water or he is going to die before 20 minutes. His units do move in to help support. Gamer 9 goes, nope, not going to engage that. That's not a good idea. And decides to retreat. Maximus is under threat. Does need to fall back a little bit. The comm of One Big Andy hiding in the water with his drone, and T2 is building a couple of shields as well to supplement his T1 units. Very good move here. There should be a lot of, at least some frigates from pillars in here, but I don't see any. Look at just some strikers. We see riptides being built here. Not as powerful as pillars, but they can be used on water, at least hover over the water. That has their advantage. A T3 gunship in the form of a whaler going after the... Oh, it's going after the engineers, and then it goes after the flak, which is probably a better move. The gunship is the point of contention here for Team 2. There's not really a lot of air that Team 2 really has access to. I mean, it's about the same, essentially, but we are seeing T3 might be on the cards here for Ayahuasca. He does have T2, and he's going for gunships and then some bombers. And then I think that was a Swiftwind in the mix as well. I think that's what those are. But it does look like Team 1 is going to lose air for the time being. They keep their gunship, but the column of Han Solo is out of the water and is constantly pushing that western edge of the map. We do have Ayahuasca building a couple of facilities in the corner just to protect, but a huge T1 army pushing against one Big Andy's T1 and T2 force. And this is a huge amount of Mantis here. We have a couple of pillars to the east to guard these facilities. We're seeing more and more produced all the time. Units even coming from Maximus trying to help supplement these forces in the middle. This is a huge hotbed of contention here for this game. A decent amount of wall sections, essentially both teams being like, this western side make it difficult for you to move around. And it doesn't really matter because they'll just use the water for movement anyways. Ayahuasca building some turrets to defend, PD to defend his naval facility. He's building T2. He's almost done with it. And he's going to build it looks like that is a Salem. But it's starting to be taken out. We have Han Solo shooting his advanced range. Doesn't need to move that close in, but is going after the PD. That's why he's moving. Han Solo will have to retreat. Half of the hit points are gone on this facility. And it's not really looking good for it. There's more Aurora coming in all the time. To the southeast, the units have broken the front lines here from Maximus. He is forced into the water. He can't use his comm. Frigates do not line the shoreline, so these units are going to have just an open season against their opponents. The army in the middle here for both teams starting to kind of favor Team 1 just due to the fact that one Big Andy has so many pillars in the mix. Yeah, there's Riptides, but they aren't as tanky. 1500 versus... Actually, the amphibious ones are tankier, but they don't have as much DPS, and so therefore they're taken out quicker. Just in terms of... It's essentially the difference between fire rate and damage per shot. It's essentially what we're going with here in the middle. But, you know, pillars at 1500 versus 1800. Not that much difference between the hit points. Constant fighting over here. Both teams need to get some engineers. It does look like engineers are on the front line trying to scoop up reclaim as we speak. And it does look like Team 1 is still on the reclaim lead for now. But that might change with this decent-sized group of forces claiming that reclaim field. To the east, these Mantis are running into a couple of Ilshis. No, these are Yenzi, not Ilshis. So they are hover tanks as well, so they can, you know, do their floaty naughty nonsense. We have some Thams and a T1 bomber just to help assist with that game of taking out those Mantis. And they're just going to sit there and attack some APM, but they're not really going to get a whole lot of damage done. They take out one Max, but that's already being rebuilt as we speak. These ones haven't been upgraded yet. So it does look like Maximus needs to upgrade a lot more of his mexes, but we have Big Andy as well needs to do that as well. He's the only player in the game under 100 mass per second. And Team 1 is still in the lead, to be fair, by about 40 mass. So I think most of that is just due to Evil Genius and his 250, 260 versus Freedom's at 200. We're at the 18-minute mark. No one has died yet. We have one Big Andy pushing forward with some triads. He probably should go T1 PD at this point. He needs the rapid-fire nature of those T1 PD. But he has some Titans come into the mix. That will help out with taking out those smaller targets of the Mantis. He's trying to hold out. He should just fire. Yep, should just go for the veterancy on his commander. He probably needs it, too. He doesn't even have his first rank, so he needs to get more of those hit points online. And it's constant fighting. There's no letting up here. Team 2's player of Alex is establishing a sort of fire base with a couple of artillery. Has some PD in the mix as well, both T1 and T2, and some missiles. The only thing he's missing here is a TMD. Those would be the buzzkill for the UEF. They're not bad. They're not the best. They're not volcanoes, but they're not bad. The Blazers are trying to come after the column of Han Solo. He is down into the red. He's up 2,500 hit points, but has 3 ranks of veterancy, so getting pretty chonky. Team 2 does finish that facility and will start producing those... Oh, they're cruisers, not Salems. My apologies. Ayahuasca now going for an Aeon facility. That he is Aeon. Looks like technology was gifted over to him from his teammate of either Gamer or Freedom. I would assume it would be Freedom, just because Gamer's more focused on this southeastern section. And it does look like Maximus has reclaimed the southeastern section with the advantage of the direct fire weapons of the T2 destroyer of the Seraphim. I don't know how to say their name. Uashabo? Uashabo? I think it's Uashabo. Maybe that sounds pretty close, but I'm not the resident linguist for Seraphim or otherwise structures or units for FAF. But I try my best. We have over the top an air fight. Maybe it was a misclick. I don't know. I don't know why you would just force all of your units forward, but the army here from Team 1 from Big Andy cutting in behind this base. We even have some T3 Ravagers being built as well. They're long range. These units are just sitting ducks. They need to either go southward and take out Maximus, not Maximus, Gamer, or go straight for Alex in the middle. Sitting in the middle is not going to do anything, and it will only give time for all these players to build up more and more defenses. The whole strike while the iron is hot thing definitely needs to play. It does play a role in this game, because the more time you give your enemy to prepare, the harder it's going to be to climb that hill. Does look like he's going to send his forces southward, going to go after these mexes, it looks like. And they are upgrading to T3 as we speak. Engineers are trying to build some PD to help assist. These units need to keep going, get these PD online, and it's going to be very hard to get through. We have some Mantis here. The Titans will be able to deal with that pretty quickly. 2 T2 Mexers are gone. A couple of Whalers being built here for Freedom to take out these units. No AA in the mix, so it's just a matter of time before all those units are destroyed. He's building his own fire base, actually in a different position than you would think. Instead of it being in the middle, it's to the southeast, essentially claiming that Team 1 wants the corner, and Gamer9 says, okay, fine, take the corner. Maximus is taking out some more mexes. This will drop Team 2's equal by a decent amount. 4 T2 mexes fully ringed. That is what, 9, what is it, 8, 9, yeah, it's 9 mass per second. That's 36 mass a second, essentially. ASF's going to crowd the area above Maximus. He senses this is not good, and here comes some gunships to try to take him out. Unfortunately, he knows about this, and so he has some flak in the area. He's going around this way to avoid the incoming fire from the brick. The 4 Whalers, it is a decent amount of damage coming at him, but those will have to retreat. He gets saved for now, but there's a line of bricks coming for him. He needs to think about not staying on the front lines. This area only has a couple of mexes, so it's not really worth fighting over this particular corner. It's really worth keeping just this, the 2 little thin not land masses just kind of secure, not really worrying about the entire corner. Air fight. Not happening here. I thought it was, but those are just spy planes. Does look like Freedom does have more. ASF 61 versus Evil Geniuses 55. So he's behind by a little bit, but not an absurd amount. But Team 1 is starting to feel the pressure here. They've lost the corner fight. They've lost the ability to take out at least the facility here. They almost had it, but then they lost it. And so now cruisers will start to pummel the countryside here. Miasma's being built up to try to counter those Siren class cruisers, but it's not going to do a whole lot. They need to be built back here just to stay out of range, because you get maybe a couple of shots out, but that is it. Team 1 is starting to bleed on this northwestern side, which is essentially what's happening on the southeast side. Again, the whole one side of the combat in terms of land goes very well, the other one does not. For both teams, very rarely do you see it where both sides of at least the 2 lanes in this case of land get taken out by one team. Usually it's one team loses one side, one team loses the other side. It's usually kind of that yin and yang. It's not usually both sides lose one or both sides defeat one. But these blazes could essentially take out Han Solo here. He has the range, but he's in that combat zones. It doesn't need to be that close. The Aurora have longer range, of course, than normal Team 1 tanks, but a huge wave of Team 1 bombers comes over the top, diminishes a whole lot of forces. Another wave will come in to take out these PD up here in the northwest corner, built by some engineers, taking out some of his eco, but he will wave this incoming threat, and his next target is taking out those cruisers. And I wouldn't be surprised to see some Salems in there as well to start walking onto the land. P3 Omni sensor array here in the middle. The Olympias class sensor array covers a huge amount of land. Essentially covers the entire map. You don't even see the other secondary circle. And you know, that just goes to show you the size of the map. It says it's 20 by 20, but obviously it's not. It's probably more like a 13. It's not a 10. It's too big for a 10. But I can't even zoom out all the way to see the entire border of the, you know, the whatever this is called. I forget what this is called. Just the outer barrier of the map size. But Maximus will push forward with some offense. Would like to see some AA in the mix, but we are having forces from One Big Andy coming to assist. No one has died, sub 25 minutes. And I say that, and Freedom is taken out by Evil Genius with those strat bombers. I did notice he was building those up, but I did not think he would use them that early. And just as I say no one has died, someone dies, and it is a 4v3 in favor of Team 1, but the bricks are focusing on Maximus, and he's being body blocked by his own teammates' units. The bricks are taken out fairly quickly, though. They're trying to go after that comm, but there's a lot of incoming fire, both from the land and from the sea. And this facility will go down. We also have Gamer9XXX in the area. That should be the next target, taking him out. But Team 1 does have to be aware of the fact that by killing a player on Team 2, you're essentially giving everything that they had to somebody else. So now, with the death of Freedom, Ayahuasca is at 600 mass per second, almost doubling what both Maximus and Evil are bringing in individually. That is the benefit of pooling your resources. Now you're like, oh, I have enough to build a Maver, and I'll just do that, because why not? Or I have enough to spam up like 30 GCs and, you know, do that. That is the downside with full share, is if you kill the comm, you don't kill everything else. It's almost like the player didn't die. You take out the APM, and APM is one of those resources that is very hard to manage, and it's very hard to quantify because it can change depending on somebody's mood, what time of day it is. Have they been playing for an extended period of time? Haven't played in a very long time? Like, there's so many factors that go into it that it's just hard to say, like, he has X amount of APM, and if you give him 2 bases, he loses X amount of APM and goes to this. Like, it's very hard to quantify it. You do take an APM drop with every base, at least from what I've seen. You take an APM drop a little bit with every base that you, like, main base, like, you acquire, because it's just so hard to manage everything. You're not doing so many actions per minute. But you do gain the ability of, if everything's already set up, you can be like, okay, it'll just run on auto. Maybe I'll just queue up maybe some bombers instead of some ASFs. Maybe add that in the queue a little bit. And that's it. Just talking about the air grid here to the west. We should be seeing, yep, there is a Colossus being built, and there is more air grids being built for a secondary air grid. Good on Ayahuasca for doing that. You need to decentralize that, because if it goes up in smoke, it's going to take a long time to rebuild it. We're having units in from Alex to try to supplement the southeastern side. Of course, we have all these Percivals trying to do their best to hold off these Othams. They take a couple of them out, but the overwhelming pressure from these missiles and, of course, the Othams just makes it very difficult. Air fight over the now main base here for Team 2's player of Gamer9. Does look like Team 1 will secure the air victory, you know, with the demise of Freedom. They've lost a lot of that air APM. But they are having a sniper attempt, and it succeeds. That was what Ayahuasca was focusing on, and that is a kill for Team 2, dropping this game to a 3v3. It is now all tied up. The player of Han Solo is not the first to die. Well, he was the, you know, Han shot first thing, but he was not the first to die. We still have these bombers here to the east. Team 1 has air control. They could easily go after Gamer. He is in the open. There's no shields. There's no AA to deal with. And I think that's what we're seeing. He notices the threat. The shield is built, and it's being upgraded as we speak. But Seraphim shields are weak. There comes one bomber. They're taking out stuff on their way. The bomber has to kind of hover bomb a little bit. Oh, there's a lot of AA here from these Cougars and Skyboxers. Not going to last very long. There's even a Monkey Lord back here. Bombs are constantly dropping. The shield is upgrading. Bombs. There it goes, taking out the mechs as the shield emitter is down, causing Gamer to have to move. And it could have been an assassination, or a snipe. I think he needed a couple more. Here comes a bomb going after the air grid. Doesn't take anything out, and those Cybern structures will repair themselves, given enough time. We are having a fight back here for that northwestern corner for Team 1 from Evil Genius now. He has to manage his eco, and he has a nuke. And it was just finished, so that's interesting. Does Team 2 know about that? You need more air if you're going to win, says Freedom. Yeah, I do agree with that. It needs a lot more air. You just know where you can win against it. Do they know about the nuke? They know it's a structure. They just don't know what it is. Does Team 1 have an SMD? We have one here for Alex. It's about half loaded, so that one will finish. But there is a threat of this position going down. We are seeing a bunch of Percys with a Monkey Lord in tow. It's a lot of Othams, a decent amount of Percys, and a lot of spam here. It does look like they're going to try to coast by on this southern side. A couple of T2 mechs. Just love the placement here. It's going for rings. I don't know if it will last that long, but he'll get his money back, or his mass back for building that for sure. The Othams need to be sent in. Once the Monkey Lord starts closing that gap, you just got to go in. There's no point retreating because he'll constantly shoot at you. But you want, or you could say you can retreat and draw him in closer to these destroyers here. Now the Percys are called forth from the player Big Andy, but essentially half of those Othams are gone with hardly any damage to that Monkey Lord. It's not looking good. If the Monkey Lord doesn't stop moving, it might be good, but the pings go down to keep it moving from these cruisers. They're going to constantly fire. They're going to try to target what they can, but it is, again, hard to hit a moving target. To be minimal damage with that AoE. The lasers from those Ushavos will open up. Monkey Lord is in the yellow. This position is going to get annihilated. There are some Ravagers that are in range. Both the comms are in the water. All the Monkey Lord has to do is target the naval units, and they are gone. Should have probably built a couple of more. Monkey Lord will hide in the water, though. And he does have some torpedoes on board. Those naval units are destroyed. There are Othams on their way with their torpedoes. We're having a Fat Boy in the middle, guarding this middle section. A lot of this is going to open up a lot of breathing room for Team 2. They've taken out that position. Very good grab here. We still have Percys just barreling on through. All of those units for the naval fleet have been taken out. Granted, there weren't that many there to begin with. We have Maximus trying to retreat. We have Big Andy building some torpedo launchers. Very good move on that. We have a couple of Team 1s as well. We'll take the Monkey Lord a little bit to chew through those. Those torpedoes are not very strong. Both the comms for those front positions are in the water. And I hear a chicken down the middle. Here it is. He's going to take out these Percys. Percys need to retask. There it goes. And there goes all those hit points. Sub 60,000 already. We have T1 bombers trying to reduce hit points as best they can. They're T1 bombers against, 7,200 hit points. It's not going to really look very well. But I love these lightning tanks here. Going to take out the whalers if they can target them. Yep, they are targeting them directly. This chicken is going to sit here. It will probably die, but it'll be a very hard position. It does look like it might try to go to the water. ASFs from Team 1 come in, annihilate whatever's here. The whalers are going to die off very quickly to that huge ASF pressure. And they're targeting the ASFs first, then they're targeting the gunships. They know the chicken was most likely going to die anyways. Or at least maybe they're focused on just the air directly. You could take out all these gunships. Come on. There goes the chicken. It barely, had its feet was just barely in the water there. It is 33 minutes. We have lost 32 minutes. We have lost 2 of our players right now. Let me know down in the comments, who do you think is going to win? Is it Team 1 or is it Team 2? And of course, if you liked the video so far, please give it that thumbs up. And if you haven't hit that little button below the video that says subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that little click. It's very satisfying to push it, and it is very satisfying to see that number go up on the channel. So I greatly appreciate your support. We have Ayahuasca building a bunch of SAM sites here. And there's a couple flak here too. But I do like the mix. The flak mainly focused on taking out the gunships that possibly might occur for Team 1 or might be built up. And the SAM sites primarily focused on the strap bombers and experimentals and ASFs. But we do have a crab here coming after the Galaxy class. That is not going to bode well for that Galaxy class. And see how fast these things fire. And see hit points are already below half. That is not going anywhere. And it's just barely in its range. Oh, it just barely gets away. How many hit points? 550, 500. The destroyers are taken out. The cruisers are taken out. And all you got to do is send that in the water. It has its own torpedoes as well. Fat Boy is pushing forward. They've already lost one of them. Probably not the best idea to keep pushing forward. There's a lot of Percies here. It takes a lot of damage to chew through those Percies, and of course the chicken. If the Fat Boy doesn't stop moving or start moving, it's gonna die here. Once the chicken gets in range, that's it, and it's gonna push forward. Ooh, that's not a great idea. Corsairs will come in, take out the shield, and essentially all of the hit points the chicken assisted secured the kill. These Corsairs could go after the Soothsayer that's on 50 hit points. They could go after this position here. There's a Monkey Lord here that's essentially almost dead. Did that thing make it out of there? I think it did. I don't think it went anywhere. Yeah, it actually retreated back to home base. That's very surprising. Laser being built here for Gamer. But the first nuke of the game that we saw earlier on has finished. Does Team 1 have any protection? Yes, they do, from one nuke launcher. Or, sorry, anti-nuke, going after the Duke that is currently being constructed. We have a line of Corsairs of Colossus here for Team 2's play of Ayahuasca. I don't see... He has the Eco. I'm just surprised he's not building anything else. He has 2 Galaxies. One of them severely wounded. He has 2 Colossi as well. He's building a lot of infrastructure here around this pond, which, I mean, he wants to secure it. I don't blame him on that. Gamer 9 XXX doing the constructing the teleporter as we speak. So a teleport play is on the cards here. I don't see any I see some the tele defense here, not for the Liberator, the strategic missile launcher. They're starting an emissary. That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting where Team 2's player of Gamer 9 just decides to go. There's a decent amount of artillery, not necessarily PD. But usually the comm doesn't really move with when he telemasers. So as long as the comm doesn't move and it's not in the minimum range of those artillery, it might just kill the comm off itself. That position is pretty well protected, but does have a huge weakness. The chicken is pushing with a bunch of mech marines. Look at these little guys. Look at them go. Big brother. Brother, I am pinned here, brother. From the Warhammer series. I forget which exact movie or media it's from, but I think it's from the Warhammer. Oh, what is it? Oh shoot! It's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think of it. But anyway, I like the Warhammer series. It's very fun. It's very entertaining. The Space Marines and God Emperors and all of that. I'm excited for the series that Amazon will hopefully produce at some point with Henry Cavill. I liked him in The Witcher when he could play The Witcher as The Witcher. But anyway, that's a different topic for a different time. Anyway, this chicken is just decimating Gamer 9 XXX's base, and he teleported away. Well, no, he didn't go there. He went here after Maximus XXX. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. He found the comm, and now the pings go down. Lol. Says Maximus XXX. Bombers are inbound. Gamer 9 is not getting out of there. Unfortunately, that is a kill for Team 1 and for Team 2. Now a tied game once again at 2v2. And this line of mech marines is just obliterating everything in its path. It's going to take a long time to chew through these T3 mechs with those, but it's doing a lot of damage so far. I thought he went here for a second because I saw his comm disappear, but he got out of there just in time, to be fair. Chicken going after a monkey. Chicken isn't firing all of its... Well, is it? It's not firing its left cannon, I think. It was just barely out of range. You need to push the chicken against this air grid. You need to push the Percies up as well. You need to use the advantage while you have the advantage. I know it's there's a lot of things being distracting, and comm just died and all whatnot, but... it's a huge advantage that you can get if you just take out this air grid. To get another explosion, these Percies need to divert from the main line. We have 2 Colossus here. It's going to eradicate everything in this vicinity. A huge column of Optims is pushing forward. The ASF's just sitting here. That would be the best environment. They're going to eradicate Team 2's air. The Percies are chasing, or not chasing. The Colossus is chasing the Percies. Percies are firing on the PD. The Mechs is... That's not going to go well. Oh, they just needed like 1 or 2 more explosions and it would have been great. But now half the air grid is down. It still has an air grid, but it's still down 3 Colossus now here for Team 2's play of Ayahuasca. All of the Optims focusing on the 1 Colossus. There is a chicken inbound to help support, but it does look like Team 2 will stave off this incoming threat. A lot of the infrastructure was taken out. Team 2 is suffering. They're behind 600 mass a second in terms of totals. 300,000 mass behind, so it's a decent chunk. Team 1's probably thinking about how to end the game at this point. They have a nuke. They have artillery that's now just finished, or pretty much just finished. Chickens on the mainstay here on this eastern side. I don't see any plans to teleport. There's 2 Colossus that made it to the main base that was once Han Solo's. So, you know, eco snipes, eco devastations on both sides of things. Team 1 is still at 1.6 though. This Colossus, oh, if it can go for the air grid, that'd be a huge grab for Team 2. They need a win right here. And this air grid could be the means by which Team 2 is back in this game. There is a decent amount of shields. The middle isn't protected, but there's a decent amount of shields around it. Colossus, it's still at, 30, 25,000 hit points. It's going to get a lot of veterancy, though. We're trying to reclaim all the pigeons to prevent volatile explosions. You see, that's what's going on. It's targeting the shields directly. There go the reclaim orders. Oh, no, but it doesn't go off. Oh, that one's going to hurt. The T3 Air Headquarters is not dead, and it doesn't go down. Oh, that's such a missed opportunity. It had like 100 hit points left. There's another one on its heels, though. There's more and more Corsairs being built constantly, and a crab that just finished. This air grid might go down, but the artillery might be the main focus here. Look at the huge amount of devastation. Another nuke is launched. It will be a point defense nuke. No, it will not. And it's targeting this position once again. Looks like the Duke was either stopped being built or was taken out at some point. I feel like maybe halted would be the better way to put it, but the nuke will be eliminated by the nuke eliminator. There it goes. Team 1 hasn't landed a successful nuke yet, and just look at all the empty space now. Essentially half of the southern side and a decent amount of the northern side is just eradicated. Ayahuasca is building a naval fleet here, trying to hold out a bunch of these Salem-class destroyers, walk them on the land. They are very vulnerable just due to the fact that they move very slowly. Quantum Gateway is down. A lot of the hives are down. The entire air grid essentially is gone. He's building some crabs to fight against any incoming Colossus that might be on its way. Man, Team 2, takes a huge stab to the gut. And they keep their air grid. That is huge for Team 2. They have a lot of engineers building Colossus. It has worked for them so far, but I feel like they need to change their strategy just a little bit. Divert it to maybe artillery, divert it to a nuke, divert it to a paragon, something to win the game, not just survive. Because you can survive the game for as long as you can, but you obviously want to win the game. We have 2 Colossi moving through the middle of the map. This is going to be another annoyance for Team 1. That Omni station is still online. They're just going to walk right by it. Mechs is just being eradicated as they walk, and they're just going to stomp over those walls like they didn't exist. Actually, no, they're not. They're just going to avoid it. There goes the Omni. They took it out. Good on them. I feel like they stopped. They would stomp on it and destroy it, but I guess not. Ravagers open up. Corsairs open up. A lot of those hit points are already gone for that Colossus in the lead. We have some of those ASFs were being grabbed by the Colossus. They move to, get the heck out of there. Perma-scout this says Maximus Triple X. Yep, there are 4 Colossus. There are 4 destroyers pushing forward. Team 1 needs a response. Crabs are a good idea. That first Colossus goes down. More and more Corsairs raining in all the time. Those hit points are just being annihilated off of that experimental. Sub 30,000 more and more, and I thought just the line of Corsairs ends, but it just keeps going. In the red, sub 20,000. There's 2 chickens on their way. There's even more spy planes to just kind of get a feel of the area down south. There's Corsairs here for Team 2 to try to do the same thing. There's another Colossus to the southeast going after this position that's been rebuilt actually by one Big Andy. And he now has a T2 facility going for T3, probably going for Neptunes or Summits would be my guess. Probably Summits for that extra range. But a crab is a good counter to Salems. It has a similar range essentially. Let's see. That's the range here. And then Ayahuasca, its range I think is here. No, because they'd be firing. Oh, they can't fire backwards. I think it's the blue line. It's because you have sonar. No, maybe that's sonar. Because this is torpedo defense. This is maybe AA in the green. Yeah, maybe it's the blue line. I can't tell. But we have a couple of Medusa on the northern side trying to just take out some PD with their mobile artillery. It just looks like now it's kind of flipped the script at this point. Team 1 is suffering the ill effects of artillery from this Duke. A second one being built as we speak. We have not really a whole lot going on. This game's about a little over an hour, so we've got another 20 minutes or so. So it can go either way still at this point. We have Evil Genius in the back with some harms trying to protect himself in the water. It looks like the production of the Havatham is the main target for Team 2, but they're also hitting the engineer production facilities of those chickens, the Yothothas. Air grids being built up once again. This would be my main target for that artillery, just denying Team 1 air. Needs more shielding. Bam, lab, says Maximus. Yep. Need some mobile, a lot of rapid fire units that, don't have to work. Okay, here we go. Here's, let's see the range. It is the red. Okay, that's what I thought. What I thought it was the red, but I could have been, thought I was wrong, but maybe not. There's not a lot of ASFs for either team. Does look like a lot of Corsairs, though, are inbound to one target. I don't know where they're going, but they have a target in mind, I think. Target does keep moving. Maybe they're going here, I think? No, they're going after the crab that's over here trying to come into the water. Where is the AA? We have 3 chickens down here. Does Team 2 know about it? No, they don't. Here goes the Corsairs, and a lot of them, I think, miss just due to the environment issues. Team 1 has some AA in the area and some ASF, so the crab will survive. It's going to drop to the red, but it will survive. Just barely, though. It'll limp. We have another crab for defense over here in the middle. We have just a huge horde of these Salems just constantly pushing against their opponent. The crab has to retreat. That's a lot of firepower if it's being forced out by a bunch of mobile walking destroyers here. Nice little silhouette. Nice silhouette. Not silhouette, but side shot. That's what I'm looking for. Words are hard today. I think it's a Friday. My mouth's just all like messed up because it's just tired. It's Friday, end of work day, end of work week, that kind of thing. But it's Friday, so I'm happy, I have a weekend to just relax and record videos, and I don't know what else I'm doing this weekend. But anyway, hopefully everybody's enjoying their Saturday. But we have 2 Colossus and 2 more Colossus. That's 4 Colossi for Team 2. It's only really going to go one way, especially with only 1 chicken engaging at a time. We have a couple of Percys being scooped up by these vacuum hands. There goes the first Colossus. The chicken falls at the same time. The second chicken will take out this Colossus. Ion Storm's going up. We have some Othams in the mix as well. A couple of Percys will be taken out as well. Corsair is coming in to assist. Second Colossus is down. Third Colossus is the main target. They're trying to walk out of that Ion Storm. It does look like the chicken will die before this Colossus. We'll get a rank of veterancy. You switch targets. What are you doing? No, target this one. What are you doing? It's not going to work. What are you doing? At least take out the... Oh, never mind. Well, I said to take out the weaker one, and he couldn't hear me through the ether, so... It's too bad for him. But, man, these destroyers doing tons of work here for Team 2's Ayahuasca. He's producing more and more all the time. There's just... Units cannot get in close. We have some whalers here. That's what they're using to take out the Medusa, but the spam. They just can't take out the main threat, which is those destroyers. Titans moving fast to try to avoid those incoming shots and deal with the Medusa, but it's just hard because they do a lot of damage. And we even have a Tsar that's finished and hovering over Ayahuasca as well. They have that to throw at their opponent. Team 2 is now looking really good. I thought Team 1 had it there for a little bit just because of their pushing, but they lost the Northwestern player of Han Solo, and then they lost Maximus, and that just really set Team 1 back quite a decent amount. I feel like a lot of momentum was lost. He's producing cruisers from the T2 naval headquarters, and now he's building some summits. So yep, going for that longer range. But I don't want this to be a game of, okay, we'll sit on our side, you sit on your side, and we'll just throw stuff at each other. You gotta invade. You gotta do stuff. More shields they have already scouted, says Gamer. Yeah, you need more shields. A second artillery has been completed. The third one is online. They're targeting the air grid for Team 1, and there's not a lot of shields here. He's trying to build some miasmas to halt the incoming pressure from these destroyers, but he's suffering in the shields department, and the Aeon shields are not great. He needs either the Seraphim or the UEF. There goes the shield emitter. There he goes. Oh, he has Cybern shields coming back online. He's even building a scan. Oh, that went. Never mind. How many? What was that? 20 Team 1 factory spamming labs, says Maximus. That laser's still going on. I think somebody's hit the control switch on the beam and just turned it to on. What? Says I. What is that talking? What are you talking about? Or the Artie will kill him. Make them shoot synchronously. Yeah, I don't blame him there. He wants to take out the shields and then take advantage of the shields being down. But the Hovatham has been completed, and we'll start firing on Team 2's bases now. We have a bunch of crabs on the southern side with assisting Ravagers. One crab did fall, but those other 2 Colossi will die. The Percy's coming to assist will be taken out. Team 2 doesn't really have a whole lot more Colossi on the southeastern side. The artillery is focusing on the Dukes here. It's just an artillery wars at this point, but it's a 1v2 scenario here. This will give a little bit of leeway here for Evil Genius to build those shields and build his air grid up once more. Those Medusa are getting pretty close. He has some Harbingers being built as well. Those are very effective, but again, they're being shot at by the destroyers. There are some Titans coming in from the south. They've taken out one of them so far. But, you know, they just don't do a whole lot of damage individually. With the Percys, they do, though. So, there's even a Soothsayer here. There's some bombers. Oh, that's a lot of bombers inbound. That is a lot. It is carpet bombing season here, folks. Here they come. Here come the Strat Bombers. They're coming in. What are they going after? They're going after the comm, it looks like. Or they're going after the air grid. Ooh. No, that's not a comm. That is a RASCOM. Apologies. Going after the air grid back here. That will be taken out. Building some AA as well. Took out the Hovatham. That's gone. Oh, man. It's a slaughter here. All the Strat Bombers taking out all these vital structures. The artillery is gone. The mass will be gone. The additional air facilities are being taken out. SAMs are being built just to, you know, stave off any incoming threat. We have the oh, no, that took out the sonar. But now we have Strat Bombers coming in. They're trying to target the stuff underneath the water. They take out the harms, considering that the comm might be there. Which, do they even know the comm is there? There was something, says Team 2. But it doesn't. Oh, the bombs are still dropping. If they would just scoot a little bit over, Evil Genius would have been taken out. But he is teleporting currently. Where is he going? Oh, he's going right here, right next to Alex. There he goes. The teleport is off. It is successful. There's PD in the area. Will Alex get out of there? Shields are going down. Oh, it's going to be... Oh, he doesn't kill him. Oh, that was so close. Alex gets out of there with just, you know, in the yellow with 5,000 hit points. Had the generator gone off, that would have been very devastating. And now it's just one Big Andy versus Ayahuasca and Alex. Bunch of Rascoms going down. Medusas are still coming in. A lot of those destroyers have stopped moving. Where did the donut did crash? Gamer won it by sniping me, says Maximus. That was a very vital move by Maximus being taken out, losing all of that momentum. But almost, says Gamer Nitro Blix. But we have 2 chickens and 2 crabs on their way. The artillery for Team 2 will go down. There's not ifs, ands, or buts about that. One of them is already gone, at least the one that was being built. Now the second one is the target. The chicken need to keep moving. Just get into the main base and die, essentially. That one will die pretty right outside the range. We have the crabs trying to take out infrastructure. The artillery is still online, though. That should be you still here, Max, says Gamer9. This game still has another 10 minutes. We have Medusa just streaming in all the time. These crabs, these chickens trying to do what they can. The shields are still online. Pings go down. Target the P-gens. Target something. Take out the artillery. They need a breather. At least Team 1 does for sure. There goes one of them. Target the other P-gen. No, don't target the artillery. Target the P-gen. They're weaker. Corsairs coming in all the time. We have lines of PD trying to just hold off. This is pretty much what killed Evil Genius, was this line of Oblivions. Had those not been there, he would have been fine. He would have at least killed the Calm for sure. Crab will go down. Percy's will come in to help clean up. There's more Percy's here to the west. The chicken will take, the crab will take out the rest of whatever else is there. One big end. He's still holding in, but he's losing the back line here. Look at all of the incoming Medusa. Man, what's the eco going? Team 1 is still in the lead. Look at everything they have access to now. They've lost essentially the northern section of the map, but they have the entire, southeastern side and eastern side. Percy's pushing the front line against some Ravagers, and they need to keep moving. They can't sit outside the maximum range for long. Percy's coming in to take out the... Well, I guess it doesn't matter. They don't have a nuke launcher anymore. Do they? No, they don't. It's gone. Man, look at all this. Look at all those chickens. 284 of those Medusas. That is so many. It's spam for you. We have some Corsairs going after these Percys, but they're taking out everything. The Calm of Alex is in the water. There's still a crab online running around the map. Percy's targeting everything in their wake. There's a couple more enemy Percys coming off the front lines. We could take out the SMD, but there's no nukes that have been built except for the Ace. That would have been very useful. Oh, that's a missed opportunity. We have Percys coming in from the southeast as well. Pincer maneuver here in the middle. We have destroyers coming in on this northern side, and my prediction kind of came true, where Team 2 would own the west and Team 1 would own the east. But now it's like, at this point, Team 2 is going to own the north and kind of some of the west, and Team 1's going to own the south and some of the east. But we have Ravagers being built. These destroyers are pummeling these defenses. The shields are down. They need mass artillery. They need mass... I think gunships would actually be the best bet for this position. Broadswords or stingers, one or the other. Just something to get out there. It's a base... Essentially what's happening is a base swap. Team 1's going to control the southern side. Team 2's going to control the northern side. And the game will just restart. Essentially. But Ayahuasca is in the water, protected with some harms. We have the Calm of Alex actually out of the water, building a couple of facilities. I hear explosions, but I don't want it to be one big Andy that I missed. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 of these now. One of them almost finished his first nuke. He still hasn't taken out the nuke eliminated, but I don't think that'll matter. The crab finally gets taken out. Team 2 essentially only having these P-gens online in the southwestern corner and building some Colossus to defend. And that's a lot of Percys to deal with. Building some T1 as well. They open up. They take out a whole lot of defenses. We have artillery trying to hit them as well. We have another FAF war coming in with a bunch of assisting Percys. Don't have him building any shields or flak, but kind of a missed opportunity. But, he has some support on the ground, though. ASF just kind of sitting there. Probably shouldn't sit there. Probably not the best idea, guys. You should probably move. You're kind of a distraction, but you're not that great of a distraction. We have Titans and Percys trying to charge this line of destroyers here. Team 1 just trying to do what they can to hold this off. You guys, can someone move this mountain? They're trying to fire, and they're like, guys, we can't fire with the mountain in the way. Guys, move the mountain, please. Probably needs some better positioning. That nuke from that Ace does launch, and this is a hidden nuke I don't know about. Nope, that is the nuke from that Ace, and it's going right here. I mean, what's the range on this thing? Oh, that's essentially the entire map. Okay, yeah, they're fine. Pretty much Ayahuasca is almost safe. I think if he puts the sub right there, he can probably edge him out. But there goes the nuke, the first nuke that will officially land, and it's from a sub. And kaboom, takes out a couple of those artillery emplacements. A couple of those destroyers go down. This would have been the bigger grab here, but there's so many Medusa. It does look like Team 1's player, One Big Andy, is getting a handle on it. And he's just sending in Percy, sending in Titans everywhere. That eco is slowly dropping for Team 2. It's at 413. It was at 900 last time we checked. Team 1 down to 883. We have Alex trying to get a foothold back here in the south, but it's essentially he's fighting a huge uphill battle. He has one Colossus, so he has that going for him because of Ayahuasca. His second one will be built. But we have satellites on the southern portion of the map, essentially Team 2's territory. This is now Team 1's main base is right here on Team 2's territory. So excuse me for that cough, that laughing cough. But man, that's crazy. Just the way things have flipped is crazy in this match. Look at that. Team 1's main base is essentially this naval facility that's being assaulted by Percy's. We have Ayahuasca trying to build a Colossus under the water. He's losing a whole lot. He's losing a lot of his steam now. That nuke didn't do a whole lot, but it opened a hole. And that hole allows for all of these Percy's, all these Titans to come through and start ravaging those front lines. We have a whole bunch of Oblivion turrets being spammed up. We have a T3 emissary being built, because why not? I think on the exact same position. Sorry, I don't mean to be zooming out in and out so much, but I think on the same position that the other one was being built. This game is flip-flop, upside down, sideways. Fat Boy's going to be spammed up here. Titans coming in, taking out the rest of the eco here, denying Team 2 everything they can. We have a bunch of Lobos trying to do the same thing on that northern side, but I don't think they're going to have so much success. Essentially, Mantis being built to counter them, essentially. And, of course, we have a Fat Boy making its way all the way from down here, all the way up here, through the little hole in the walls. And now it's going to start targeting some engineers on the surface. All these engineers will die. And just leave Ayahuasca in that water. Can't watch this BS anymore, says Gamer9XXX. Lol sad, says Maximus XXX. A lot of Triple X's in this game. I think there's 1, 2, 3 of them. I don't know what that's about. How did this yeah, exactly. How did this happen? That's I thought we lost. Yeah, I don't really know. I just think One Big Andy just held out long enough and just pushed the southern side, decimating the eco here on that southern portion of the map for Team 2, and it just slowed Team 2's roll. Andy is OP, says Maximus. Honestly, I was going to give the underrated player of the game to probably Maximus, but I think I'll give it to Andy just for this. I think that is what I'm going to do here. The game's still going on. We still got about 4 or 5 minutes, but it is starting to, fizzle out. A lot of these destroyers are taken out. There's a Galaxy trying to hang on. There's couple of destroyers still online, but that's not going to last. Another satellite for Team 1's player, One Big Andy. He has his second one, and a Fat Boy guarding them. There's 2 Colossi down here. The nuke will launch, take out this facility of building those Colossus. There's another one back here. It's not going to last very long, though. And all of this is petered out. Forces moved all the way into the back, took a huge line of facilities out. And now it's essentially, does Team 2 know where Team 1 is? Nuke Pond, says somebody, but it doesn't look like they have any nukes of any kind, so there it goes. There goes that nuke. Kaboom! Takes out all those facilities. Lots of PGens. Andy did a better job than Evil did. I wouldn't argue. I'd say, I don't know. Maybe a little bit. He did, obviously, he outlasted him for sure. But Evil did have a decent amount of success. He took air very early on. Gamer are weak on bottom. He was 2v1. Yeah, it kind of was a 2v1 scenario. Yeah, and that is fair, but, Freedom didn't come to assist, which essentially was the problem here. He could have gone east, but he went north. There's another nuke goes off, take out the rest of those PGens. Another Colossus does come off. Alex being killed by One Big Andy. Very, I was going to say very typical, but, it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. But Andy opponent should have challenged him. GG says one big Andy. Andy's opponent was Alex, yeah. At least his main mirror, I should say. But I do like the fact that everyone acknowledges like it's not his fault that he was 2v1. It's just that's what happened. They're not blaming Gamer for their loss. They're just saying this is the situation, this is what happened. We accept the fact that, yeah, he was outplayed on the bottom, which gave Team 1 an opening. I think Andy is a gap player, says Maximus. I mean, maybe he's good at endgame. That, yeah, I mean, that could be true, but I don't think necessarily. I think a lot of gap players, it's essentially they get killed off early on because of land or whatever the case may be. Or yeah, they do they do last like an hour plus. But essentially we just have a battleship that's almost dead, a Colossus that's almost Colossi almost dead. Oh, they didn't even take out the satellites. Oh, there goes a P-Gen. They took out the P-Gen and a satellite. Look at that. They took a satellite out. Now they're targeting P-Gens. They took out 2 more. There it goes. There's this facility down here. The Colossus will not finish. It is just ayahuasca versus the world. That Fat Boy is getting out of there. Now the big question is, will ayahuasca flee, control K, or will a nuke possibly kill him? There isn't any loaded. No, there's none of them loaded, so they're not going to nuke him. At least not right now. But it does look like a whole force is just surrounding that pond. There's 3 of these harms defending. But it doesn't look like he's going to get out of that pond anytime soon. There's 1 satellite going. No, you're not going to really build anything. There's another Colossus down here. Maybe this will take out the other satellite. Who knows? Ravagers are being taken out pretty quickly. Love it when it goes silent. Says one big Andy. Yeah, it's just like the calm before the storm. More Ravagers open up. There's also artillery here. Trying to navigate around those. I think it is going after that satellite. I mean, that's what I would go after at this point. Oh, yeah, it is. It is targeting this. Oh, it retasks. No, don't do that. You're going to take out the satellite. Oh, that's disappointing. Ayahuasca is 3 structures and 1 comm to his name and a couple of other units. He control Ks everything on the map, and a nuke does launch. Look at that. 1 hour, 4 minutes, 17 seconds. That nuke is in the air waiting to go for his target, but does not get the chance to do. You should have just nuked it 15 minutes ago. Told you he is in the pond. Yep. That does suck. Very disappointing here for Team 2 probably. They knew where he was, or at least they had an assumption, just didn't pull the trigger. But that was the game. It was a very good game. Team 1 was looking very not great here when they lost Maximus. It was pretty much, it looked like the beginning of the end because they were losing the northern side at the same time. But once everything essentially went into one big handy's hands, it's essentially he just held up in this position and this position and just kind of just pushed the southern side, took out a lot of the eco, and then pushed back on the northern side. So underrated player of the game goes to one big Andy. Good job. You outlasted the entire game. Last survivor of the match. I got to give it to him, not just for surviving, but just because he did very well with what he had. And he was constantly helping Maximus push this southern section. And so he was just constantly helping, constantly coming with those Perseus and Titans to just help Maximus out. He got control of the south once Maximus died and just kept pushing. So good on him. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for watching to the end of the video. Please, again, if you liked it, hit that like button. If you feel so inclined to comment about how you felt about my performance, the video, the players, the moves, whatever you want to do, let me know down in the comments. Of course, if you haven't hit that sub button, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for watching to the end, and I will see all of you in the next one.